Welcome to Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show on YouTube. The man down there dashing Derek. The man in the middle goes by the superstar Mike Merc. And my name is Devon. We appreciate you guys tuning in each and every Tuesday. Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show. Don't forget to check out our pro wrestling store as well. Got some Ultimate Wrestling Trivia merch all over the social media as well. All right, it's nice to keep the peace here. No Stefano on the show today.
Thank goodness.
Hopefully it'll be a great show. We kid. We will see.
We love you, Angelo.
Yes, so we will see him very soon. All right, well, they made quite the debut on Monday Night Raw. We are talking about the Wyatt Sicks, Uncle Howdy's group. Comments, questions, concerns, do we like it, and where do we go from here?
It's going to be all about the follow-up here for me. I like Bray Wyatt. I always said, out of all the people in professional wrestling that we met in person, Bray Wyatt and Jay Briscoe are two of the nicest people that we've ever met. And I love the Wyatt family, the original gimmick, but when he drifted off into the Fiend gimmick, it got a little weird for me, and a little cartoony, and I kind of worry that this is going to devolve into that too, where it gets a little too spooky for my taste. And it's not really something that I like in my professional wrestling, especially when you murder Chad Gable and he's going to be back this next week on Monday Night Raw, wrestling. So I worry a little bit about the follow-up, especially them being in the ring. I mean, it's what are they going to do? Wrestle with the Porky Pig mask and the Bunny Rabbit mask? So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm willing to give it a shot, but if it devolves into the creepy, spookiness, I don't know if I'm going to be into it.
I think the aspect of it that I like is wrestling television is best when there's a lot of surprises. And that was definitely a surprise debut. Mm-hmm. The tease has been going on ad nauseum for a while. So it was about time they gave us a little bit of a payoff. I think the Nikki Cross being part of the group and not Alexa Bliss, at least in the initial rendition, was a surprise to me. I didn't see that coming. And I think Derek brought up a great point of when are they going to wrestle? And my fear is that we're going to see a lot more teases and people getting beat up and taken out backstage before we actually get a match.
But is it one of those things that's the special attraction? It's like the Brock Lesnar. The only time you can see them wrestle is maybe on a pay-per-view or a premium live event where you're going to have to actually pay money for it. I wouldn't mind the spooky stuff. Being a Halloween guy myself, I'm all for the little vignettes and the shenanigans backstage. The Wyatt Sicks, of course, Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. Nikki Cross is playing the part of Abby the Witch. And then you have Dexter Loomis, which we haven't heard from in quite some time, playing Mercy the Buzzard, and Eric Rowan, a friend of the show, playing Ramblin' Rabbit, and then none other than Joe Gacy, another one, playing Huskus the Pig. I mean, I like it because it's giving an opportunity for guys that didn't really have anything going on for the most part, put them in a main event-ish spot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it definitely gives those guys and girls jobs and everything. And I'm happy for them in that aspect, but we're talking about when they wrestle, it's okay, is the babyface or whoever they're going against, they're supposed to act like they're afraid,
Right.
And,
well, I feel like if Eric Rowan wrestles, he takes off the mask and just wrestles, you know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be any situation there at all.
With the exception of Joe Gacy, who wasn't really introduced to the big wide WWE universe, the rest of those are familiar faces. And I think that maybe with the exception of Uncle Howdy, they probably will take off that mask and be the character they are in the ring. And I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. I just don't want to wait. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait too long.
It's the microwave society that we live in. We want it, and we want it now. So please drop it in the comments. What you guys think about the Wyatt Sicks. If you guys like it, where do you think it's going to go from there? We would love to hear from you. All right, Merc, do me a favor. Right in front of this WrestleMania, Yes, right there. There's a figure right in front of it. Why didn't you grab that? It's like on that side. There you go. Who is that there?
Flash, you are so funky.
That is Flash Funk. Also known as Cold Scorpio in the world, and it was recently reported by TMZ. Of course, Cold Scorpio worked Josh C recently at WrestleMania, and you know wrestling isn't on the table all the time for the older folks, so they might have to get regular jobs and whatnot. It's been reported that he had a job as a security guard in a gas station in Kansas, Missouri. And some bad stuff went down. A guy claimed to light up a cigarette. Flash Funk said, don't do that in there. Got a little ugly, a little stabbing, reported by TMZ. Kind of seeing how that all plays out. What do you guys got on that? What do you think about Flash Funk to Cold Scorpio?
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but it's a trip. You go to a gas station and you see Flash Funk like working the counter or being a security guard.
Oh,
it reminds me too. I remember hearing a story about Mr. Fuji took a job after pro wrestling at a movie theater, tearing off your tickets. Like, what a trip that would be to see, Mr. Fuji when you're going to go see, the newest movie. But
no, the reality is a lot of wrestlers have to support themselves, right?
True.
And the independent bookings are coming in on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So in order to pay the bills, guys are going to pick up work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So be it. You see how the guy Snitsky owns like an Army surplus, Army Navy surplus store.
Yeah, that's true.
A camouflage store. The national news, with TMZ reporting it.
Yeah.
So,
we hope everything works out with all those involved with that situation. But yeah, you just never know where you go and who you might see. All right, switching gears just a little bit on Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show Forbidden Door. Happening this Sunday. Going to be a great time with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's happening out at the Long Island Arena out there. And we got some predictions. You guys, are you ready for this pay-per-view?
I'm excited for it. I mean, the AEW pay-per-views, I think, always deliver. I think there was maybe one kind of stinker pay-per-view in there, but they're always super long, too. I've kind of complained about this before, too, where it's like, you're into like hour number 5 and the main event's coming on. So I try to watch the show maybe in the morning a little bit, split them up, but I'm excited for the show.
To touch on that point a little bit, Sami Zayn was recently quoted in an interview that with WWE doing their PLEs, and having 5 matches on a show and limiting the spots, and Sammy basically insinuating that that's not a good thing. There's so much talent on the roster and there's such few spots. AEW prefers to go the other way with it. Even when they have limited the matches, they definitely give the matches the time that those matches deserve. Almost to a detriment, like you said, where the pay-per-view itself is running into that 4-hour mark, and it's hard in this day and age to do anything for 4 hours in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the trios match, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith are going to be facing Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Who do we like in this one?
I'm very intrigued in this match. I think the Learning Tree thing has been getting over with me, but you got such a badass team with Shibata, Hook, and Samoa Joe. I mean, it's hard to see them lose also. But I'm going to go with Shibata, Hook, and Samoa Joe with the win.
I like that too.
Yeah.
No, I echo those sentiments. I'm a big fan of Big Bill. I think Brian Keith is definitely a name to watch and a rising star in the wrestling business. Jericho's on my Mount Rushmore.
Hi, guys.
But that team across the ring from them are so badass that they need the win more than the Learning Tree does. So for that reason, I think you're going to see the badasses have their hands raised.
In the first round of the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament, it's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. Definitely looking forward to this, Dragon versus Dragon.
Yeah, like Tony Khan said, he's booking this for the sickos, and this is for me. I'm one of the
Yes.
sickos here. When they announced that Shingo Takagi was coming to AEW, I'm like, we have to get this Bryan match with Shingo. So they're definitely going to deliver in the ring. And there's some stakes to it. You got the Owen Hart tournament going on, and the winner of that is going to main event Wembley. So I'm looking for Bryan to run the table here. I think he's going to get past Shingo, and I think he's going to go on to win the Owen Hart tournament too.
All right, there you go.
When a lot of novice wrestling fans didn't quite understand the appeal for Bryan Danielson to jump ship to AEW, and it was said right away in the beginning that he would have the opportunity to wrestle for New Japan or even bring the New Japan talent to him, and this matchup is proof of that. This matchup is why Bryan Danielson is in AEW and held in the regard that he is, and it's gonna be good. This reminds me, and they're a little bit smaller in stature than those like All Japan battles where you'd see like Stan Hansen and Vader or Terry Gordy just stiff the crap out of each other. Kobashi, like this is going to be a throwback. This is going to be good.
Yeah, it's definitely the match of the night I'm looking forward to the most. The singles match, CMLL's Hechicero. Am I saying that right, Derek?
Hechicero.
Hechicero. It's going to be facing everybody's favorite MJF.
It's interesting. The rumor was that MJF was going to take on Roosh for this pay-per-view, but Roosh still has some heat with CMLL, so I don't think he was allowed to work this show. But Hechicero, he's a great technical wrestler. He just had a match with Zack Sabre Jr. down in Mexico. But MJF, he's not going to lose this match.
In his home, this is his home base right here.
Yeah, so I'm going with MJF, but I think it's going to be a good technical match. But MJF is going to pick up the W for sure.
Yeah, the investment in him is too great to see him come up short.
Another solid matchup for sure. As of this recording, Jeff Cobb is going to have a singles match for the New Japan World Television Championship. Opponent to be determined. Jeff Cobb probably retains, we were thinking.
I would think so, yeah. If he's putting that title on the line, I would think, yeah.
Next we move to a singles match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Jon Moxley, will be facing Tetsuya Naito in a rematch from Windy City down in Wintrust Arena just recently. Who do we like in that one?
Yeah, and we were at that show too, and they had a hell of a match. So I don't know if Moxley's going to retain here because, the G1 is coming up. It's G1 season, and Moxley's not booked for any of those shows at all.
True, that's true.
So, and then the winner of that goes on to the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So I think it's going to be Tetsuya Naito bringing that title back to New Japan. But it was a fun little run with Moxley, something that we didn't expect, especially being there live.
Yeah, that's one of those things. The IWGP title being changed on U.S. soil is so rare.
It's once in a lifetime that we got to see that. Yeah. But I think Naito is going to bring the title back
I'm with
home.
you on that too.
Just to think about that, like you touched on it, we still talk about British Bulldog winning the Intercontinental title in Wembley, from Bret Hart. Like, that is such a big deal to see such a prestigious title like the IWGP title change hands on American soil. You're not going to get that often. Now, that being said, the title's on the line. A title change makes sense. Are we going to see the title change hands again? That is what's interesting. So I think for that reason, I think Moxley will retain, and he'll end up dropping the title either in a rematch on foreign soil or to a different contender.
I like it. As always, we want to hear your predictions. Drop them in the comments and let us know what you guys think about the upcoming Forbidden Door pay-per-view. All right, in a singles matchup, Orange Cassidy faces Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, this will be interesting. Orange Cassidy for the first Forbidden Door had a match against Will Ospreay, and I wasn't really expecting a whole lot from that. But Orange, he's turned out to be a good worker. Outside of the shtick and everything. But Zack Sabre Jr., I think he's just one of the best technical wrestlers out there in the world. But I think, yeah, ZSJ is going to pick up the win. But I think it's going to be another very good match for sure.
Yeah, this is the kind of match that if Orange Cassidy loses, he doesn't really lose anything by that. So that sets up nicely in these cross-promotional type matchups. You can't just have a clean sweep and beat everybody from the other company. That's not going to fly in the political wrestling climate. So I too see Zack Sabre Jr. coming out ahead in this. But I definitely think this could low-key steal the show. This could be a match that people are talking about. And obviously you have to have a certain affection for technical wrestling and the submission, ground base. Orange Cassidy can do that. Like some of his Chikara stuff was very Zack Sabre Jr.-esque in his offense.
Yeah, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view 2 years ago in Chicago, I think that was probably the match of the night, is Orange Cassidy against Will Ospreay. So, like, he can definitely go. Next, the AEW Women's Championship will be on the line as Mariah May will be cheering on both of the participants as Timeless Toni Storms puts the title on the line against Mina Shirakawa, who's walking away with the title.
I love Samina Shirakawa. She's been amazing in AEW. I love the storyline too, with Mariah May being in the middle of Toni Storm and Mina, and
the whole stardom
having to choose
and everything. Yeah.
But I think Toni Storm's gonna walk away with the title because I think it's gonna build towards that Mariah May Toni Storm matchup eventually. Maybe we'll get it at Wembley. But as much as I love Mina, I love you, Mina. We want Mina. #. But yeah, Toni Storm's gonna win.
The build-up for this matchup was really some of the best wrestling television over the last couple weeks in any of the companies anywhere. It was must-see TV. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was something that we watch a lot of wrestling, and to be honest and to be real, sometimes your finger is on that double arrow button to get through stuff. I will never, ever fast forward through a Toni Storm segment, ever.
Yeah.
And it's been gold. It's been very entertaining. And these two competitors, I think, can deliver. So that'll be a fun match.
The next matchup at Forbidden Door is a winner-takes-all as the AEW TBS Championship will be on the line along with the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Championship as Mercedes Money takes on Stephanie Vacure. Should be actually a great matchup. Who do we like in this one?
Well, that New Japan Strong Women's title was basically created for Mercedes. So, I mean, I think she's going to win that title also. But, yeah, Stephanie Vacure coming from CMLL, she's another great talent, too, that you got to keep an eye on. But Mercedes Moné, though, she's going to take all the gold. And like I said, this title was made for her specifically, so.
CEO all day?
Yep.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, CEO all day.
As of the recording, the ladder match for the AEW TNT Championship will be online as Takeshita faces ROH Heavyweight Champion Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Lio Rush, and to be determined, who do we like to climb the ladder at Forbidden Door?
Well, I think, Dante Martin and Lio Rush are there to do, the cool high-flying spots off the ladder. You'll get a nice froggy bow off the ladder with Mark Briscoe. And I talked about the G1 before. Takeshita's in the G1, so I don't see him winning. So that leaves, Jack Perry?
Process of elimination, Jack Perry, which means...
Or the newcomer, the unknown.
The elite could have all the gold, then you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that's the direction that they're headed towards. So, yeah. Jack Perry's going to win it.
All right. Merc, are you taking the scapegoat or who are you going with?
My original thought was Takeshita. But he is in the B block for the G1. So Derek brought up a great point that I hadn't really considered. He's not going to be around. He's wrestling. So you're not going to crown a new TNT champion. And Derek did the process of elimination. I think Lio Rush is too new to the company. Dante Martin is not established in that way. He's going to have that Shelton Benjamin type role of Dolph Ziggler had in all those Money in the Bank matches in the 2000s, 2010s, where this is the crazy spot machine that's going to make you go wow and provide the fireworks. But at the end of the day, Jack Perry will probably be leaving with the TNT title.
And in the main event of Forbidden Door, the AEW World Championship will be on the line as Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana going to be taking on the challenger, Will Ospreay, which should be a phenomenal matchup. Who is walking away with the title in this one?
You knew these two were on a crash course against each other. Will Ospreay came into the company as like the hottest thing, and it was only a matter of time. But I thought they were going to hold off until Wembley to do this match, and that's where they would crown Will Ospreay. So I don't see them changing the title. At Forbidden Door, it doesn't make sense to me too much. So I think Swerve is going to come out with the win. Like I said before, I think Bryan Danielson is going to go through the Owen Hart Cup tournament and challenge Swerve at Wembley. And then Ospreay, you got a returning Kenny Omega. I mean, anybody that they put in the ring with Ospreay, it's going to be a great match. I know it's kind of tough to see him taking an L so soon, but Ospreay's a guy that, you can hold off a little bit. He's still got the international title, so I'm going with Swerve.
Swerve?
I feel that the momentum that Ospreay has right now is that snowball going downhill, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. And Swerve's been a great champ. He's very entertaining, and this is going to be a heck of a match, well worth the $60. However, you can't cut Ospreay's legs off quite yet, and he can go into Wembley as the champ rather than leave Wembley as the champ. So I'm going to disagree with Derek, and I think the Swerve run will come to an end, whether that's Prince Nana making a turn, whether that's Nana trying to interfere and causing some kind of issue, and then the heat is on Nana. Swerve and Nana have an issue moving forward, and Ospreay will take the belt on to the next
Or
challenge.
Hangman, he hasn't been around too.
Well,
so
break the tie for us, Devin. How do you see this going down?
Yeah, let's go with Will Ospreay. You sold me on it.
Oh!
Walking into Wembley as champion. But as always, yes, please drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think about this coming Sunday's AEW New Japan pay-per-view. Let us know. It's going to be a great show. For sure. And don't forget, if you are in the Midwest area, we have a pro wrestling show that we are running in Cascade. RPWProWrestling.com is where you can get the tickets. That's happening Saturday, August 3rd. All three of us will be there with a lot of great talent. And it's just going to be a great time in the summer. It's going to be a blast.
beers, brats, and body slams. Come on out to Cascade.
That's awesome. And before we back out the door, we got some Ultimate Wrestling trivia with Matt Taven. Check it out now.
It's a Matt Taven Tuesday.
In 2016, I was feuding with that Melvin Cody Rhodes, and I took a little souvenir from him. What exactly was it?
All right, that is Ring of Honor AEW superstar Matt Taven. If you know the trivia, drop it below and let us know. All right, a great show today, folks. That wraps it up for another edition of Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show. We are all over social media. Make sure you give us a follow, a like, smash that like button and all that good stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube show. Pass it along to your friends. We appreciate each and every one of you. Down there is Dashing Derek. The man in the middle.
Hi, guys.
Is Mike Merc.
Flash is so funky.
That's right. And my name is Devin. We'll see you next Tuesday. Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show.